Hold up. Toilet brush, man. I'm sorry, bro. I dropped the ball. That was not Joe's fault. Hey, everybody. It was Joe's fault. What did you do, Joe?
Round 2.
This is round 2. Joe's a boxer. Ding, ding. Joe, we had over 8,000 people in here today, and now it's down to like 7 people. So as I said several times in the show, I was up all night sitting in the jacuzzi popping bottles with models from Uruguay. Joe, where's Uruguay?
Uruguay is South America. It's between Brazil and Argentina.
I don't believe it. I think he's making that up. Sounds fishy to me.
Ask Ambrose.
Ambrose doesn't know. Ambrose's not going to get you out of this mess. Hi, Kathy. Guys, for those of you who were there, how far did Joe get in to the Astros case? Because when I came running here with my battery charger, it was off. Joe was talking to an empty screen. Joe just talking to himself.
Does anyone know if there's a park around here with a big black fence or something? With the arrows on the top?
Yeah. How far? There's a couple. You talking about the one with the big ass sharp things on top?
Yeah. And then there's some circular steps that go down, and there's a little fence, and then there's some like not picnic tables, but the picnic benches.
Is it in the back? In the back of the thing?
Yeah, you can come in through the back.
There's a big ass metal wrought iron thing with sharp ass shit on the top.
Yeah, and you got to walk through a steel door to get in.
Yeah, are you talking about the one that has a plastic children's playground inside of it as well? Because there's one this way, half a block. That's on 10th Avenue on 48, and that's called Hell's Kitchen Park.
Okay, no, slow down just for me, man, because my memory is all right. Actually, my memory is impeccable, but when I'm stoned, it takes me a little bit longer too.
There's 2.
Okay, no, stop first. Let me ask you a question before you go on.
All right, brother, I'm live on the air, so I can finish my show.
Which one is closest?
The closest one is 48, which is 1 block that way.
What street are we on now?
On 40, that's 49th right there.
So I have to walk 2 blocks?
Yeah, but I want to make sure you have the right one. 48th and turn right.
Where's the other one?
The other one is on 43rd and 8th.
No, that's that.
You're welcome.
What is he looking for?
I don't know, motherfucker didn't even say thank you or nothing. Mom asked me.
What's he looking for?
He's looking for a park.
Park?
Yeah, you heard him, Joe. He said he's looking for a park with
his
metal.
car. Well, he doesn't have no car. This guy.
Yeah, Joe, he looked like he got a car.
No.
I helped the guy for 6 minutes. All I want is, all right, thanks, man. Nothing. He didn't say nothing. He's like, screw you. Oh, slow down now. I got, my memory is perfect. Now, what'd you say 8 seconds ago? Joe, you want to get back to the news? Haven't you lollygagged enough? Haven't you ruined the news enough?
Go back, you ruined the show.
I ruined the show. Joe, when Joe says I ruined it, it's really bad. I want to apologize to everybody. I was up late night. Hey, anybody know where the park is at? Yeah, well, there's a couple. What? Slow down. Take it easy now. Draw me a map. Can you take me over there? Hold my hand and walk me over there. He ain't gonna say thank you. He ain't gonna say nothing. All right. DoorDash, Joe. Do you know what DoorDash is?
That's a good delivery.
That is.
Food delivery?
Food delivery, yep. Where's the park at? Where is it now? How close is it? No, hold down. Hold up. It's got the thing with the... Well, he probably might not realize, Joe, is there's a park on almost every block in this area. There's one right down the block, across the street here. There's the one we're in.
Behind us.
There's one behind it. Oh, shit. I wonder if he wanted that. I wonder if he was talking about that one right there.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you say something? There's a park literally.
I didn't understand his language. He was talking.
I don't think he can get into that one over there, though, Joe. Screw that guy. He didn't say thank you. He's like, I go, you're welcome. He didn't say nothing. That's my pet peeve. DoorDash, Joe. Listen to this. And I want you guys to weigh in on this one. Somebody weigh in on this one. Oh, he said, well, you know, I'm stoned. I'm hella stoned. So, it's a little aggressive. Okay, DoorDash. What's a good tip for a DoorDash, Joe? $5?
Well, if it comes to me, I give him how much?
$2. I know you. You give him $2 and a handshake.
$2.
Tell him don't grow your corn in the winter. So listen to this. She was fed up. A DoorDash driver has gone viral. Over 1 million views already, Joe. And I think she might be tripping here. Listen to this, Valerie. She refused to give the man his food when he only tipped her. Guess how much he tipped her?
$8.
Well, why you ruined the contest, Joe? $8. Now, I'm a very generous person. I thought $8 was a pretty nice tip.
She'd be fired for that.
An $8 tip. Ambrose, where you been, Ambrose? Every time me and Joe have an argument, he says, well, let's let Ambrose decide. I go, hey, what are we talking about? We're not even on the air. If me and Joe are at Burger King and I want to order a Whopper, Joe says, let's call Ambrose. The video, which has been viewed 1 million times on YouTube, shows the woman complaining to the man through a front door Ring camera for the seemingly measly tip. She claims she drove 12 miles to bring him his food. Now, that's a pretty good drive. That's from here to Connecticut. You can go to Jersey and back for 12 miles. From Comac to Smithtown. The woman says the man must not realize how far she traveled. What the hell are you looking for? He says, I gave you $8. The woman says, adjust the tip and make it right. He says, I already gave you $8. I ain't giving you nothing else. What did she do, Joe? She said, all right, and she took his food and left.
She'd be fired.
She took his food and bounced. $8, I don't know. When my Chinese delivery guy comes to the door, I always give him $3. I always feel that's pretty good. My meal's usually about $10, $12, $40. Joe, woman was raped. I hate that word. Hate it. On the Upper West Side staircase. Stranger followed a 21-year-old woman into her Upper West Side building. You really super duper have to be careful, Joe. You ever been walking into your door over here and some guy's right up behind you trying to come in?
Yeah.
When I walk into my door and there's a neighbor who's not looking and they're putting the key in, I say, coming behind you. I always want them to know. I don't want someone to turn around. You don't want to turn around and have some dude standing in your doorway, Joe. Asian bashing in Queens. More Asian bashing still going on in Queens. 3 brutes jumped out of an SUV and pummeled a man and woman walking on the Queens street after yelling anti-racial slurs, anti-Asian slurs. These guys should go to prison. I feel bad, Joe. I just sent that guy all the way down the block that way, but I think he's talking about that park right there, 50 feet behind us. Pete Davidson, Saturday Night Live. I've never laughed at anything he's ever done, but call me crazy. Creepy dude. Tatted up every square inch. Dates the baddest women on the planet. He just dated Kim Kardashian for a year. Well, he's with his new girlfriend. And this is no laughing matter. Comedian Pete Davidson drove into the side of a house in Beverly Hills. Into the damn side of the house, Joe. In Beverly Hills. With his actress girlfriend Chase Sui Wonders riding shotgun. Davison was behind the wheel of a brand new Mercedes driving at a high speed. He's one of these kids from Staten Island. He just seems like he's the kind of guy who would piss on an electric fence. Excuse the language. He just doesn't seem to care much about nothing. You got your lady in the car. I really don't think you should be driving at a high rate of speed. Creed 3, the movie Creed 3. Joe, you're a boxer.
Yes.
Michael B. Jordan, handsome man of the year, handsomest man of the year, I think, on Time Magazine. Creed 3 punched its way to its domestic heavyweight.
For the coming, I'm exercise for the coming.
All right. I don't know what Joe is. Anybody? I need a Joe interpreter
The
here.
fight is coming soon.
I need a Joe interpreter. Joe, I talked about this guy yesterday.
This way, you see, this way you do.
That's how you do it?
You don't get, you don't let him hit you on the head.
Joe, yesterday you walked to the bathroom over here. You fell down and almost broke your neck. Just walking. I
Well-
hate to see you in the ring, bro.
Well, you know, I was dreaming what I can do when I go to the fight.
I look
And
up.
I fell.
I'm shouting out my man Joe Hernandez. I look up and there's my boy Jordan Joe on all fours waving at me. I'm okay. I go, Joe, why are you laying in the dirt over there, Joe?
Exercise.
Exercise. Joe's getting exercise laying flat on his face in the dirt.
When the other boxer hit me when I fall, and I know how to get up.
I know if you get into a fight, Joe, you're going to put bruises all over that guy's knuckles. All right. Is Rev here? Where's Rev? I haven't seen Rev in here.
How you doing?
There's Rev. Hi, Rev. How are you? Joe, I talked about this guy yesterday. This is one of the hottest basketball players in the world. His name is Ja Morant. I got to keep an eye on the crazy guy who's going to come back and
How
be
you
mad that I
doing,
sent him to the
Ja?
wrong part. Ja Morant, Joe. Ja Morant. Hottest player in the NBA. He actually went on record saying he could beat, in his prime, he could have beat Michael Jordan. That's blasphemy, my friend. Anyway, Joe, he got suspended for 2 games because he had a gun in a nightclub the other night. Can't do that. Now he might be suspended for 50 games because he took a gun on the plane, on the team plane. This guy's a moron. After a video showed Ja Morant flashing a gun, Nike released a statement saying they will support him. Of course they will, because it's hundreds of millions of dollars at stake. Nike and Adidas, they're never going to turn their back on someone until they have to. A woman found dead in a car that contained an assortment of liquid chemicals in a ritzy neighborhood in Manhattan, Joe. Where's a ritzy neighborhood? Ooh, East Side, East 56th Street. Moving on up to the east side. A 35-year-old woman was discovered unconscious in the backseat of a parked vehicle on East 56th Street and Sutton Place in Midtown Manhattan. At 11:20 a.m., emergency workers could be seen in chemical protective suits. Joe, so you're in a car and you have these chemicals and you have no mask or anything, it will kill you. Hazmat, that's the correct. Ambrose is correct.
How you doing, Ambrose?
Hi, Ambrose. Texas mom kills 3. Should I read it, Joe, or not read it?
No, please.
I'm not going to read the story of the Texas.
This is happened over and over. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I let Joe dictate. But I'm not going to talk about the Texas mom who killed 3 cops. Not doing it. Joe, we talked about this yesterday. Ohio, another train derailment. What is going on with these morons? This one's non-toxic. They hope. It's non-toxic, and then it says, they hope. The Ohio town where a Norfolk Southern train derailed Saturday may have missed a bullet because its cars apparently weren't transporting toxic chemicals like last month's disaster. People still can't eat food or drink the water in that town. By the way, Joe, horrible, horrible news out of California. The snow is so bad, Joe, there's been deaths. There are people that are stuck in their homes. They can't open the doors or the windows because the snow is 17 feet high. One man, they just rescued him. They've rescued about 140 from their home so far. You're in a truck trying to go save people, but all you see is snow. You don't even see the house anymore. So they have to dig their way to the house and then figure out how to get in and see if people are alive in there. People tried to ride it out. It's not like a hurricane. This is just snow that kept coming. So, hi, Fernando. God bless you.
How you doing, Fernando?
Moshi.
How you doing, Mushi?
Hi, Moshi. Joe, one guy they rescued yesterday had lost 12 pounds. He's been trapped in his house for 10 days with no food. You got plenty of water because you can just eat the snow. Open your window, reach out and grab some snow. Can you imagine 10 feet of snow? This is horrible.
I can't imagine you stay in for 1 day without food.
Not me.
What will happen?
No, not going to happen. Not when I'm rapping, Captain. Hey, city biker in a fight for his life, a 30-year-old was struggling to survive after he was struck by a hit-and-run driver while riding a city bike. Joe, you know the blue bikes. They're all over the city. The cyclist was on West 51st Street in Hell's Kitchen. It's right here. Literally that block, right there.
Yeah.
Joe, I left here the other day to do the news. Remember I said to you, you went to Starbucks and I went to the grocery store? A man, big brother driving a bike, wrecked right in the middle of the damn street. Just wrecked, laying in the middle of the damn street. We're all like, you okay, you're okay. He's more embarrassed than anything, but there's a lot of wrecks on the damn city bike. The cyclist was at West 51st Street and 11th Avenue, so it's a block that way. In Hell's Kitchen, when he was struck by an SUV, police said. The witness said the driver got out of his vehicle, looked at the injured biker, and then fled. There's a special place in hell for you, my friend. I hope they catch him. I hope they got his license plate. The bicyclist was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, which is literally a block from there, a couple blocks from there. Police spokesman confirmed. So my friend Shelby, one of my business partners and one of my best friends for 40 years, was almost killed yesterday, Joe. She was walking on 10th Avenue, right in front of her apartment, 11th Avenue, excuse me, and a guy, UPS driver, but he was off duty. He was in his car, but he had the UPS stuff on. Pulled out of the UPS garage right there on 43rd and 11th, gunned it, and hit a curb and hit two cars. His car was upside down. They landed at her feet. She was literally inches away from getting killed. And I tell you, I would not be able to handle that right now. I'm so happy and so grateful to God that my friend is alive. And that really puts that whole $6,000 thing in perspective, Joe. Fuck that $6,000. Excuse my language. There are... lady, why would you throw your bag of chips right there, you dirty piece of crap? She's eating at a table like me and Joe. She's done. And she takes her bag of chips and just throws it right in the bushes, right next to her table. It's like if I just did it. Fuck you looking at? Now, Joe, do I really got to go beat up a high school kid right now? Waving and smiling at me? I should go pick up his bag and put it in the garbage. Take it easy, Bob. Life is great. Life is great. You know how I know, Joe? Because Joe Hernandez is here today. That's your boy. Even though you call him George Martinez.
He's on.
He's on right there. Says hi, Jordan.
Hi,
Joe.
hi, Joe. Hi. How you doing? Joe Hernandez, not Martinez.
That's my boy.
Martinez is our neighbor, Joe Martinez.
All right. This is a horrible hotel, Joe. This hotel right here. You're going to be hearing from this lady's lawyer. This hotel gave the keys to a room of a guest to this guy. Gives the rapist keys to a women's rooms. Horrifying cases of women being raped in the rooms at top of the hotel chains are taking place because staff are allegedly handing over keys to sexual predators unchecked. You used to go up to the front desk and you say, "Hi, I can't get in my apartment, my room. It's 225." They say, "Sir, where's your ID? We need to." "Oh, I don't have. My wife checked in, sir. I need to speak to your wife. I can't." Now they just hand you a key. 225, here you go, sir. What were you? 227, here you are. Can't do that. Can't do that. They're not vigilant enough.
But, they have a case, the Hilton Center.
They're going to be suing somebody. Dump on Trump's chances. Chris Sununu. Little bitch ass trick left that garbage bag there. Just left that big ass bag of shit. I will pick it up on the way out. New Hampshire governor and potential presidential candidate Chris Sununu scoffed Sunday that former President Donald Trump has any chance of winning the 2024 Republican nomination. First of all, don't you count out Donald Trump. I hope he doesn't. I kind of hope he wins, because he'll get crushed like he did last election. But I just don't think when there's 10 people, 10 Republicans on stage, any of them can beat him. He's got a built-in fan base, a rabid fan base. He's going to say or do anything. He had a speech last night, Joe. They counted 26. He made 27 points. 26 were lies. Blatant lies. He'll come out and say something like, January 6th never even happened. No one was even there.
I'm still thinking if I should run or not.
I think you should run, Joe. Joe, you have trouble walking. I don't know if you're going to run anyway.
Right.
Because you have trouble walking. Yesterday I had to come over and pick you up off the ground, laying there like a big sack of potatoes. I don't know. I don't know. I think you should run, Joe.
You're not agreeing with me, but
What would be your first thing, Joe, if you ran for president? What would be the first thing you did?
first thing I'm going to stop the war.
That's good. That's very good. How do you how do you stop it?
I'm gonna stop it because I'm gonna go between and make a buffer zone with force, not with hope. And then the second thing, I'm gonna
Why do I
find
do
a
this?
place for all the homeless,
That I like as well.
just to give them homes and give them liberty.
Joe's worse than Trump. He'll just say anything to get elected. First thing I'm going to do is build a big building on the moon. And I'm going to put everybody on a ladder. And they're all going to go to the moon and have free pumpkin pie.
That's
And
waste of money to go and build the moon. There is no air.
there's
There's
no air.
no water.
I'm going to build air and water, Joe. And Mexico's going to pay for it. I'm going to build a wall around the moon and Mexico's going to pay for it.
See, my speech already well known.
First of all, you're going to need an interpreter, I think. Most people don't speak Joe. I speak Joe.
Ask any of them if they agree with me.
Does anybody agree that Joe should run and build a wall around North Korea? Hey, Joe, 4 people knifed in a bloody weekend. Stabbings are way up in New York, bro.
Boy, watch
People
your
can't
back.
get the guns. They're getting the knives. A man was nabbed during a bar fight in Queens. Where at, Joe?
Queen.
Yeah, very good. Joe's paying attention. One of at least 4 people wounded in knifings across the city. That's a normal day. I don't know what that. There's a thing called Cop City. It's a police city. Protesters hurled bricks and Molotov cocktails at cops and set vehicles on fire at the site of the future police training facility in Atlanta. Cost $90 million for Cop City, and people are already burning it down. Joe, this is the guy. There he is. This is Murdoch. Murdoch, she wrote. That's Murdoch. Alex Murdoch. This is the guy, Joe, who killed his wife and his son and blamed it on vigilantes. He was convicted. He got double life, Joe. But here's the problem. He was a very, very shrewd lawyer. He was also a convicted, he's a convicted murderer now, but he's got 99 problems and a big J one. Got 99 major lawsuits and felonies against him for stealing people's money that he won. If you're one of his clients and he wins you $2 million, he just keeps it. Doesn't give you nothing. Anyways, he took the stand on his own. I watched the trial, and during the whole trial, all the pundits and the peanut gallery and the soapbox guys were all sitting there going, "He's going to get off." It's going to be, Joe, you have to have 12 jurors. 12 jurors have to say you're guilty. If one says you're not, it's called a hung jury, and they can either redo it, and trial it again. Sometimes they just say we're not going to do what's popping. How's it going? Gang. What's up?
What do you want?
He wants to be on the camera. Let him be on the camera. Got 90 people, player.
I love these guys right here.
Shout out the
I'm
Instagram.
very big fans.
Shout out the Instagram. What's the
Yes.
Instagram?
Oh,
What's the IG?
M.funny_ASF.
Y'all already
There
know
it
the
is.
Follow me, go
vibes.
follow
We
me.
know what's up.
I'm the dog. Y'all already know the vibes. I'm your snap. DD.
I love these guys. I love them.
Gang.
Love y'all.
Love y'all back.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Love
He's a big fan. He's a
Why,
big
what
Jordan
you
Joe
gonna do
fan.
a teenager?
And he's like, I love Joe. I don't care about the dude in the red hat. But
Because they know I'm running for
Joe's running for president, folks. You heard it here first. I love Joe, and I ain't voting.
They are encouraging me.
They're encouraging Joe to run. Actually, if it's Joe or Trump, I will vote for Joe. That's facts. If it's Joe or DeSantis, I will vote for Joe. If it's Joe or Charlie Manson, I'm probably going to vote Charlie Manson. I haven't made up my mind yet. Joe, so this guy is one of the jurors. The jurors are starting to speak out. They're all saying the same thing. This guy, he had his trial won. There was no murder weapon. They didn't have motive. They had a motive, but they couldn't prove motive. There's a whole bunch of things. There's a bunch of holes in their case where at least 10 or 11 were going to say, yeah, he's probably guilty, but I don't know, I can't. Well, he took the stand, Joe. When he took the stand, he started doing that. It's really hard to fake cry for some people,
You
Joe.
watch the...
I feel really bad, but I didn't. And he's got boogers hanging out his nose. It was horrible. But his acting was horrible. He didn't want to have one tear. Had lots of boogers, no tears. I just will tell you, I'll never kill my son. It was horrible. They're all saying the same thing. As soon as he took the stand, and by the way, when he took the stand, it opened him up for cross-examination about all his thefts and all his lies. So, anyways, long story short, these guys are saying as soon as he took the stand, he nailed his own coffin. What a moron. White kids in a high school play, Joe. No white kids allowed. A Massachusetts high school barred white students from participating in one of its plays. I find that discrimination. Now listen, you're always going to see me. I am fully on board with my African American and my Latino friends around the world. I feel that it's not an even playing field, and I believe black folks should have their own things. I do. I don't think they should have to share it with anyone if they don't want to. But if you're going to be in a high school and you're going to have a play and you're going to say no white kids are allowed, I think you're really crossing the line there, and you're setting yourself up for certain parents to be outraged. Other parents are going to be like, I don't care, let them have it. I don't care, I ain't got no kids, let them have it. But I totally understand why some parents would be upset. A Massachusetts high school barred white students from participating in one of its plays, a parents group says, and the Federal Department of Education is investigating the crime. The conservative nonprofit Parents Defending Education say in a complaint filed in October that the Newton North High School production of Lost and Found, Our Stories of People of Color, it's a story of people of color, was only open to theater students who are black, indigenous, or people of color. I could imagine if they had a play, Joe, and they said, is that you or me? That's you, Joe.
How you doing?
Damn phone.
How was
your phone?
we still on the show?
How was your
How was
vacation?
your...
How was your...
because I am running for election.
Joe's going to run for president.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm running for the presidency. I can't answer.
Rapist attacks police. A British man allegedly... What's poppin', man? How are you? It's good to see you. A British man allegedly raped a woman at a popular resort in the island of Majorca. What the hell's Majorca, Joe? It's in Spain. I know it's in Spain.
Majorca is one of the Spain islands. Yes.
Mallorca.
You're right.
Then repeatedly resisted arrest and headbutted a cop. So he raped a woman, then he resisted arrest, and then he headbutted a cop. I'm still making sure this crazy guy doesn't come back. Hey, yo, you sent me to the wrong park.
We better leave before he comes and
He's going to come. Joe, we had a horrible plane crash yesterday in Long Island. You don't see plane crashes that often in New York, but when you do, one dead in a fiery plane crash. It's just one of them small planes. One dead in fiery Long Island plane crash. One person was killed and 2 others suffered severe burns when their small plane crashed. A lot of times, Joe, you think you're in the plane crash and it hits and you get killed by that, but a lot of times you get killed by the fuel. The plane blows up.
When you hit the ground, you get hit too.
This is horrible, Joe. A Sweet 16 party. Do you know what a Sweet 16 party is, Joe?
Teenagers.
Hey, you turn 16, you have yourself a Sweet 16. a big moment in a lot of kids' lives. If you're Jewish, you have a bar mitzvah. If you're Spanish, you have a quinceanera, whatever the hell it's called. Quinceañera? I don't know. This is a big deal in kids' lives. Usually it's the girls. 2 teenagers were killed when gunfire erupted at a massive Sweet 16 house party. Sweet 16 and there's gunfighting. Another 6 people were wounded at the gathering. Where at, Joe? Nope. Nope. In Georgia.
Georgia, Alabama? No, Georgia.
Georgia, Alabama. It's a new state.
That's
Georgia.
next to Alabama. I was there.
More than 100 teenagers were raging at the party. A fight led to a deadly violence. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office said the unidentified fatal victims were under 18 years old.
How many died?
2. It's horrific.
Shit, 16 years old.
Hey, Joe, did you do birthdays today?
Yeah.
Let's do some
How was
birthdays.
your birthday? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody. Joe's asking me how my birthday was in November. I don't think Joe's all there anymore, folks.
Michelangelo today born on this day. Tell them who is he?
Michelangelo was one of the greatest painters of all time. He did the Sistine Chapel. He was a painter. That's all I know. He was a painter from the French Renaissance of 1827. I don't know what the hell, Joe. What do you want to hear from me? The guy was a good painter.
Yeah.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, Michelangelo is unbeatable.
He's unbeatable.
He's sculptor. George Dayton. Who is that George Dayton?
Joe, I refuse to answer that on the grounds it might incriminate me.
You know.
I don't know.
You know who is he?
Nope.
He's the head of Target store.
Target.
Yeah.
Anytime I want to get a good deal on groceries or stuff, I go down to my local Target store.
Where do you do that?
There's a Target right there on 10th Avenue, Joe. There's another Target on
10 on what?
10th and 46. What are you
Really?
talking about? Target.
Well,
You like Target?
I will go there. I will go there. Lou Costello. Born
Did
on
we
this
just
day.
do him yesterday, or did we do Abbott? No, we did Lou Costello.
No, the other one.
I hope Joe's not recycling again. Sometimes
He
he
is
recycles.
in Abbott and Costello.
He is. Lou Costello was the heavy, the portly one. They called him portly. Who's on first? Third base.
Ed McMahon. Who is Ed McMahon?
Dear Lord, give me strength to get through this.
He did a TV sidekick or whatever.
Yes. Ed McMahon is considered the greatest sidekick of all time. He was a sidekick of Johnny Carson for 30-something years, Joe.
John Carson.
He was, yes. I watched a Johnny Carson the other night, just like an old throwback. And Ed McMahon, his job was to laugh at every single. Joe's going to yell at somebody. Don't yell at me. His job was to laugh at every joke. Anything you ever heard Johnny Carson say, you hear Ed McMahon going, yes. Boy, it sure was cold last night. I barely left my house. All right. What else you got, Joe?
Alan Greenspan.
Alan Greenspan is a money guy. He's a money
Head of Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
You believe it? He's still alive?
That's crazy.
98 years old.
98 years old. How much money he got?
All right. Okay. Willie Stargell. Who's that? Baseball.
Willie Stargell was one of the all-time greats. He was a Pittsburgh Pirate. We are family. Won the World Series. He died long ago, Joe. Willie Stargell was a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Day, yeah.
Born on this day. Happy birthday, Willie.
David Gilmour. Who's David
Don't
Gilmour?
you start with me, Joe.
You know him?
I'm popping a Woody under the table. I'm getting aroused. David Gilmour is one of my all-time favorite musicians. He's the backbone and founding member of Pink Floyd. He is a phenomenal guitarist, even though he plays a Strat. Just a brilliant guitarist and vocalist. He could sing us, 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 and them. Who knows which is which? We're just like ordinary men. Love him, Joe. You finally redeemed yourself for all the crappy ones you gave us. Now he's going to do another crappy one.
Rob Reiner
Love Rob Reiner, Joe. Do you know anything about Rob Reiner?
was an all in the family.
He was in All in the Family. Do you know his name on All in the Family, Joe? No, you do not.
I do not.
His name was Michael Stivic. He was Polish. Archie Bunker used to call him a Polak and called him Meathead. He is one of the biggest enemies of Donald Trump. If you follow his Twitter, every day he's speaking out about injustice and about racism, and he's just a very, on the show, which was 40 or 50 years ago, All in the Family, the way Van Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Gee, our old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days. Edith was his wife, was Archie's wife. Stifle Edith. One day I'll never forget, played by Gene Stapleton, one of the greatest actors of all time. One day she said, "Shut up, Archie!" She hit menopause and she became, because she was the most loving person that ever lived on the show. And one day she said, "Shut up, Archie!" And it sent shockwaves around the world because everybody has their breaking point. Joe, your pigeon's sitting there with one foot.
I fed him.
Hi, pigeon.
He wants to say good night.
And his father was Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner, one of the all-time greats ever. He was vaudeville, and then he went on and did all his stuff just for years and years. Just funny. I think his father was the producer and the writer of the Dick Van Dyke Show. But I digress. As soon as I find out what digress means, I'm going to do it. What else you got, Joe? Arthur Lopez is here today. I can't even believe it.
Alan Davis.
Alan Davis, I don't know who that is.
He's a comedian. Okay, I don't know how to read it. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
You know him?
Shaquille O'Neal is known as Shaq, Joe. 7 foot tall, 350 pounds. One of the kindest, nicest people who's ever been in sports. Joe, he tips. If I had the money that he has tipped or given away to people over the years, I'd be a very, very, very wealthy man. He's about a billionaire, Joe. He took all of his stuff. He invested in stuff like Ring Doorbell, and he's on 100 different commercials. The General, no one does more commercials than him. He's a very, 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 very wealthy man, but he also gives so much to people, Joe. When I was pretty big in the business, the bathroom attendant business, Joe, he would come into my workers' bathrooms and give all of them always a $100 bill. $100 bill. Hi, how are you? $100 bill. People would call me, "Bob, you won't believe who came in tonight." I go, "Who?" "Shaquille O'Neal." "Oh, did he give you a $100 bill?" "How'd you know?" "Because he gives everybody a $100 bill." And then one day I had someone call me and goes, "Bob, Shaquille O'Neal was here." I go, "Did he give you 100? 50. I go, "Dude, the guy came in and gave you a $50 tip and you're going on the phone? You're a moron." Shaquille O'Neal was also my boss for a brief time when he was the owner of All-Star Cafe in the 90s. The owners were Joe Montana, Ken Griffey Jr., Shaquille O'Neal, Andre Agassi, Tiger Woods, and one other, and I always forget. Wayne Gretzky. They were my bosses. And of course, Charlie Sheen. What else you got, Joe?
The dead.
Who?
The dead page.
Oh, on the dead. So Shaquille O'Neal is not dead.
No. He was born on this day, but
Very much.
but no, it's better than today.
Very,
He
very,
probably
very
celebrated somewhere.
He had a very, very, very tough father. He was born in New Jersey, Joe, in the hood in New Jersey. He was very, very tall, obviously. His father left when he was very young, and he got his father, who his stepfather, called him Sarge. Stepfather was a very, very disciplinarian. And Shaquille O'Neal would do something on the thing, he'd say, "Get over here! Get over!" Smack him. Shaquille O'Neal's never said a bad word about his stepfather, who he called his father. His father molded him into the superstar with all the ethics and the morals and the values that he has. His father was a pretty amazing man. What else you got, Joe?
William Hopper,
William Hopper is a person who I don't know.
doctor. Georgia O'Keeffe.
Georgia
Pen-
O'Keeffe.
It is great painter. You're not interested.
Nah, I know the name. I just wouldn't know any of their work.
Oh, okay.
Is that a
Very
guy or a
great
girl?
painter. Okay, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. I think it's.
Teresa Wright.
Why do you hate me so much, Joe? We were going along so good. We had 300 people in here. You just shit all over them. It's a horrible list.
All right. Dana Reeves. Who is Dana Reeves?
Dana Reeves was the wife of Christopher Reeves. She was an actor and an actress in her own right. I met her. She was a very lovely lady. Christopher Reeves, Joe, one of the most handsome men I ever saw in my life. Striking. Came into my work. He was just so kind and so nice to everybody. And then, I don't know, a year or two later, he came in again. This time he was, by the way, he was strapping. He was Superman. Had these eyes that look at you. You just want to give him stuff. He was 6 foot tall, just muscular and very, very handsome and very kind and nice. And then the next time you see him, Joe, he's in a wheelchair, completely paralyzed, and he's completely broken person. I think his mind was still sharp, but also still kind, but he couldn't talk or do it. He could barely talk, and he broke his neck. Equestrian. He was an equestrian rider. He enjoyed riding horses. What else you got, Joe?
Kirby Puckett.
Kirby Puckett was one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the 3,000 hit club. He played for the Minnesota Twins, Joe. He had a very bad habit. His bad habit was chewing tobacco, Joe. Kirby, you had a great game tonight. What do you think happened? Well, I'll tell you. The guy was off the foot. I mean, he ended up getting horrible, like, mouth cancer and throat cancer and everything else. And then his son ended up getting it as well, I think. But Kirby was a little short, stocky guy. Hit baseballs right up the middle.
Nancy Reagan.
Nancy Reagan, I've heard of her, Joe. I just don't know. I can't. First lady of was Ronald Reagan's wife. She came up with the slogan, "Just say no. Just say no." She was with Ronald Reagan for 40, 50 years until he passed away.
If you like motorcycle,
I do.
I give you the name of the guy who invented and built up the first motorcycle. His name is Gottlieb Daimler.
Gottlieb Diner. Never heard of him. Never heard
He's
of
the
him.
first to rebuild a motorcycle.
I think that's all she wrote.
That's all we wrote.
That's all we wrote. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Joe, you want to give them a quick weather update?
Weather is today was very beautiful, 54. Now went down to 42.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly, and I wish everybody a good day.
The last thing I want to talk about before we go is Chris Rock. Chris Rock finally had a special the other night. It was a live special on Netflix. First live Netflix comedy special they had. He came out, he did an hour of stand-up, and the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds were dedicated to Will Smith. He went in. And it made me finally, for the first time, maybe understand how horrific and horrible it was that he got slapped on live TV in front of billions of people. And Chris Rock, who was, is a phenomenal talent, and you don't never really hear a bad word about him. Everybody seems to like him. Now he's going to be forever known as the guy who got slapped on stage by Will Smith. Will Smith came out, to defend his life. And the first, if you guys watch my shows, the first week or so after, I talked about it many times because I felt maybe Chris Rock crossed the line, saying stuff about Jada's hair. That's Will Smith's wife. But you don't go up on stage and slap a man. You don't go up on stage and slap a man who's half your size. What would it have been like if, because you go up and slap me on the face, I have to fight you back just on common ground. You have to. But I think it took a lot of guts for Chris Rock not to fight him and not to tumble around on stage and just kind of eat shit for a year and a half. Well, in this special, for 5 minutes, he lets the shit out. He is absolutely incredulous. Someone look up the word incredulous, because I think I said it right. I might not have. He was indubious. So he sat there, he called her a B word, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. That bitch, she was screwing her sons. Because Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, had a very open affair on Will Smith with her son's best friend, August Acelia, whatever the hell his name is. And then, so she had an affair on Will Smith with her son, with Will Smith's son's friend, and then they had a TV show where she interviewed him about it. Now, I had, here she is interviewing Will Smith. So I had an affair on you. How did you feel? Well, Chris Rock destroys them for 5 minutes. He went in. I don't like hate. I don't like hurt. But I think Chris Rock said all the right things that he had to say to get his point across. The last thing he said before he left that stage is he said, people have for a year come up to me and said, why didn't you hit him back? And he said, because I have parents who raised me and told me never get into a fight in front of white people. Then he threw that mic on the ground. And he is, believe it or not, he is really, really right. How would it have looked with him? It was horrible as it was. How would it look with him fighting back? Anyways, I just shout out to Chris Rock. I'm sorry for all that pain you have carried around for a year. I'm very happy that you were able to let it out. Will Smith destroyed his whole career. His whole career. He just did a movie called Emancipation. It's supposed to be the best movie of his career. He was guaranteed a lock for an Academy Award. It's a horrible slave movie, but I saw about half of it. I can't stomach those movies. It hurts my heart too much. And he was brilliant, but you'll never know much about it because he's thrown it all away. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that Will Smith thing up. If you get a chance to see Chris Rock's new special, I didn't think the special was that great because I think he is very funny. I didn't think this was one of his best, but I thought him getting that off his chest was definitely worth it. We do have about 8 seconds left for you to hit the like button. I want to thank Joe for holding it down today. We got 39 likes. How we got 39 likes with 190,000 people? Joe, thank you for holding it down when my battery died. I appreciate you. This is part 2. We will talk again real soon. I ask you to please be kind and loving to each other. Think about what they're going through. Pray for each other. Pray for our dear friend David Young. Pray for our dear friend Joe Hernandez or George Martinez, whatever the hell he calls him. Thank you guys. God bless you, Purple. Thank you, Treaton. Sugar Bait. One last thing before I go. M-Wall.
Likewise.
M-Wall sent me the sweetest note on PayPal. Guys, you know I don't solicit anything on my channel. I opened it up last night. There was a note from M-Wall. And it took me a while because she had her real name on there, Mary, and I didn't know who that was. It took me a while to figure it out. She said, Bob, I am so sorry for what happened to you. I know this isn't going to replace anything, but I just wanted you to know I appreciate you. It made me cry. It made me feel good that Joe and I are able to make some people happy. And we don't do this for the money. We're not monetized. We're doing this for free. We do it because we enjoy doing it. That's why we don't solicit. We don't have commercials. We don't say, support the channel. Good guys, tip me. We don't do any of that. We do this because we love to try to make people happy. And Joe, you make me happy sometimes. Not all the time. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please be kind and loving to each other. I don't just say that as a tagline. Be kind. Be good to yourself because you deserve it. Tammany, your note was super special. I loved your note. I saved it. Thank you so much. And all your beautiful beef jerky is long gone, girl. I swallowed it whole. Thank you, guys. We love you.
Good night.
God bless you, Joe. I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too.